I've been in handcuffs. I've had my face on the front page of the newspaper for wanted for a $1,200 double billing that I didn't even double bill, to try to, what I say, literally kill me. Because when you take somebody's piece of work, their life, and try to plaster it all over social media, all over the newspaper, that whoever this person was, that's not who it really is. She's a thief, she's a this, she's a that, only for charges to be dropped.
Well, welcome, ladies, to the Top 100 Most Powerful Black Women Summit podcast. And at the moment, I'm pretty much coming to you daily with our amazing keynote speakers. But today is not a keynote speaker. It's actually one of our Elite Circle members. So just to let you know, the Top 100 Most Powerful Black Women Summit this year, International Women's Month, from the 23rd to the 27th of March, get your tickets. The QR code is above me. Is actually coming to you from New York City. We are going to be in Irie Jam FM's podcast studio, and I'm going to be with some very well accomplished Black female entrepreneurs. And sitting here with me today is one of the Elite Circle panelists, Cheryl Pruitt, who is going to be on that panel with me every single day, 5 days, coming to you 20 masterclasses a day. Not only will she be running a keynote, but we are going to be getting stuck into real conversations. We're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to be interacting with all the speakers of the day, and we are going to be delivering you a summit like you have never seen before for specifically Black female entrepreneurs. So Cheryl, before I keep falling all over my words because I'm super excited, I'd like to welcome you to the virtual stage, Dr. Cheryl Pruitt. Let's give you your flowers, please. And please introduce yourself to our audience and just tell them a little bit about who you are and your story.
Yes, and it's a pleasure to be here. As a matter of fact, I just want to first start by saying that this is an amazing opportunity and time. So a little bit about myself. First, I'm a grandmother. I'm a mother. Those things are important to me first. My grandbaby is less than 2 years old, so I'm so excited about that. But on the professional side of things, I have a bachelor's in biology and chemistry, a master's of arts in teaching, instruction and curriculum leadership, a doctorate in instructional curriculum leadership, instructional design and technology. I have postdoctoral work for superintendency. I have license as a principal, and I also have entrepreneurship certification. I've done cancer research at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. I've done brewing beer. I've been a lot of different things. And currently I am also on the hospital board. So I serve on a hospital board where we do deal with Medicaid and Medicare, some of the things that's going on right now. Most of my work, all of my work has been in communities that look like me, communities that are underserved, whether it's in the U.S. Virgin Islands or Pembroke, Illinois, or New York City. I've always tried to serve. So that's just a little bit about me. I love to travel, I love to meet people, and I love to give information and lessons that I have learned or experienced to my sisters.
Oh, I absolutely love that, Cheryl. We are in for a treat for this podcast, and you just heard Dr. Cheryl's, I've got to give you your flowers again, her long list of accomplishments. They were absolutely massive. When I first spoke to this lady, I was actually just in awe of all the things that she's done, she's achieved, and she's incredibly humble. And you're going to see what I mean as we go through this interview, and you're going to see what I mean when you actually attend the summit. We are an array of characters that make up the panel, but Dr. Cheryl Pruitt, you are fast becoming the sage and the oracle for me. You really are. So one of the first questions I really love to ask you is, when people hear your name, what do you want them to associate it with?
Absolutely. So I want people to think of someone who leads with truth, with integrity. You know, I didn't have a roadmap or a mentor, which is really important. Any guide, anything like that, lead me through leadership, motherhood, or just some life decisions. So a lot of my lessons have been what I've learned. And so when people hear my name, I want them to know that I'm someone who shares her lessons so that other women can build from experiences instead of starting from survival.
Ooh, I love that. That is so powerful as well. And I think a lot of women who are listening to this are really going to resonate with that. And what was the moment that really shaped the woman that you are today as a leader? Like that, like aha moment.
That aha moment was when I was arrested in my leadership capacity for doing the right work at the right time, for leading young people and children and a staff in a multi-million-dollar organization in the right direction. And sometimes when we do that, everybody don't think that's the right thing to do. And somebody has to stop you. So when you have integrity, when you pretty much know what you're doing, and we as Black women have seen that in this day and time all across the country right now. And so that was my aha moment. I'm a Black girl. I'm not a white woman. They don't care about me. And they will arrest me for doing the right thing.
Now, I don't usually ask this question to the end of our podcast, but I feel like it's the right time to ask it now. So I'm going to kind of change the order around. For anyone listening, no one doesn't have a copy of the question. This is like real, raw, honest conversations that you are having the privilege to hear about these women's lives that are going to be sharing the stage and being on this virtual platform with me. But what is the one thing that you have done that people would never have guessed or happened to you? And because I happen to know this, I just feel like as you touched on it, I do feel like our audience might be curious or sitting there thinking, what was that arrest about? And I ask this to every guest that comes on here, like, what's the one thing that people would never be able to guess about you? So I'd like to ask you the same question.
Absolutely. Like I said, I've been in handcuffs. I've had my face on the front page of the newspaper for wanted for a $1,200 double billing that I didn't even double bill. Wanted for things that try to degrade my name, to try to tear me down, to try to, what I say, literally kill me. Because when you take somebody's piece of work, their life, and try to plaster it all over social media, all over the newspaper, that whoever this person was, that's not who it really is. She's a thief, she's a this, she's a that, only for charges to be dropped. Understanding even the legal side of things and how that stuff works with prosecutors and defendants, with the judge, they all kind of in these things together, right? And if they can get what they call a big fish, and I guess I'm a big fish, then they would be happy. But thank God that there is a God. Thank God that I have children who say, Mama, you got to keep moving. You got to keep going. It's so many little Black girls and Black women that's looking at you. So you cannot fold. And, you know, we live every day as Black women who don't fold. We were born that way. We got to raise our children. We got to defend our communities. We got to figure out what's for dinner tonight. We got to figure out what I'm going to look like today, to make sure my lipstick is on right, to make sure the stocking is on, you know, not crooked. So we live and we have been created for such a time. And the interesting thing about that arrest, I wasn't even really expecting it. But that's how come we have to go inward, because the Holy Spirit told me that something was going on. So we have to listen to that voice that's behind us. It's real and it speaks to us. And we have to understand that. So when I told myself, but when I heard the voice say, Google me, because I was riding around Chicago in the loop, it said, Google you. And I Googled my name. And that's how I found out that I was wanted. Again, for a $1,200 double bill in a multi-million-dollar company that I don't sign a check. I don't write a check. I don't do any of those things. And it took nearly 2 years for it to be dismissed. And every time I would go into the courtroom, first of all, it was newspapers and, you know, reporters there. My son said, Mama, have you ever heard the prosecutor speak? And I thought about it. I didn't know. I wasn't sitting around tables, you know, understanding what these things are when you get to a certain level and what happens in the courtroom. And I thought about that. I never heard the prosecutor say a word. And then the judge even said, why are we even here? And my attorney said, if you weren't who you are, this wouldn't even be an issue. But this was during the time that the state wanted to take over a predominantly Black school district. And those babies were learning. Graduation rates were higher than the state's average. Literacy scores were up there. And that wasn't what was supposed to happen. Right. We were winning state championships. We won a state championship first time in 30 years with no money and no track. Because we know we are a resilient group of people. And during the track meet, if I can just say this, the young people were running, and one of the young men, he hurt his back of his leg, his splint, so something you call that. And I said, baby, how did you run that relay so well? He said, because my team needed me. And if we can just come together and realize as Black women, we need one another. And every time we get to that point, we're going to win. We are going to win, hands down. But when we fold, when we blink, when we don't get in the right rooms with the right Black women, sisters, if you will, to lift each other up, just like that team did, which lifted it. Not only did that lift up the team, it lifted up the school district, it lifted up the community.
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit about, and that some people would say arrested, but we have to look at everything that happens in our life. That's a purpose. We can look at it as half empty or half full. What can I take away from this experience? And there's so many lessons in it. Because one thing, I'm still standing. You tried to eliminate me, I'm still standing. And continuing to do. And continuing to serve. And continuing to make sure that young Black children have an opportunity in life. So that's about it.
Oh, that's so powerful. And the thing is, ladies, I know this story and I've heard it from Cheryl before, but even hearing you say it again, it just sends chills down me. And at the same time as sending chills down me, it also fills me with power and just an element of pride. I can't describe it to you. I'm just so proud of you. It's just like you just want to hug you and just want to say well done and just hope you realize how proud you should be of yourself. And anybody listening to this, please do make sure that you get your ticket and you come to the summit, because we are also on a mission to change the digital footprint of Dr. Cheryl Pruitt. Okay, we're going to turn around that digital footprint. Okay, I must remember that I'm on the camera. Let's just call them the system that has put on her profile, and we are going to change that. So I do urge you to make sure that you follow Dr. Cheryl Pruitt. I urge you to attend the summit, attend her keynote, write about Dr. Cheryl Pruitt. We need more people that can write and tag Dr. Cheryl Pruitt in, is the more that we will turn that narrative and that digital footprint around. And also let the truth be known. Because these are the things that are not spoken about. Sometimes we do use social media in not the way that we should be. This is a story that should be told and should be highlighted. Okay, because these are the things that are happening day in, day out. And this is how the system just continuously gets away with things, because we're not reporting and we're not speaking. So I do urge you to make sure that you attend the summit, you hear Dr. Cheryl Pruitt's keynote, you come and you learn even more about her. And even today from this podcast, like I said, go onto LinkedIn, type a message. Go and do the search yourself and say, hang on, I know this story to be different. And let's change the narrative and let's change her digital footprint. Because I feel like we all should be here to support you, to shine a light on this story, to let people understand that, look at the whole DEI issue. A lot of people, when it comes to Black and Indigenous, they start to roll their eyeballs to the back of their head like this story's boring. We're tired of the Blacks. This has been going on forever. Get over slavery, get over it. When we still got things like this still happening in this day and age. So as much as the world has changed and we've moved on, the system hasn't. And that's what this summit stands for. It stands for building out our own tables. It stands for building something that we can call our own and have our own messages and be able to tell the truth that actually is. So I have to say it again, I'm going to get off my soapbox because I'm just going to keep going on about it. But before we do move on, Dr. Cheryl Pruitt, please let everybody know where they can find you online. if people want to reach out to you, rather than waiting to the end, I feel like it's appropriate for you to just kind of drop now where people can connect with you.
Absolutely. I am on LinkedIn up under Dr. Cheryl Pruitt, and I do have a website. But if you go to my LinkedIn page, you can also find my website and connect into me. And DM me. I would love to hear from you.
And, you know, obviously our speakers, other speakers that are there are watching this. You know, I'm just going to make it a point. Let's start publishing some content of all the great things that Dr. Cheryl Pruitt has done and change that digital footprint. So my next question, and this one actually is a lovely segue and it leads on. When you hear most powerful Black women, what does power actually mean to you?
You know, power is so deep because it's the ability to make decisions. It's the ability to create direction, but at the same time remain grounded without opinion shifting. So power is intrinsic, if you will. So that when you walk in the room, you don't have to, even if you're not introduced, everybody know you in that room. When you speak, people want to hear what you have to say. That's power. So oftentimes we can think that maybe we can tell people things and whatnot, but sometimes people don't want to listen to you. And you have to understand, we all have to understand that we deserve not only to be listened to, but also to have that power, and that we have power. We were born with power, and we need to use our power. So that's what power means to me, is the ability to make decisions, to create directions, and at the same time to remain grounded. Because sometimes we get into positions or in different places and spaces, and like I said, I'm just a little Black girl. That power can be taken from us at any time, at any moment. The power that the world says is there, which is really influence. But the internal power, it can't go nowhere. And it's authentic. So that's what power means to me, is the ability to stand when everything around us is doing what it's doing now in our country. Like you just mentioned DEI. There's a lot of women that have to pivot right now, have to change. They may not have been arrested, but their life has changed.
Yeah.
So what is that new identity? The power is knowing your identity, even when you got to pivot, and being able to pivot. I can pivot. You got those transferable skills, just move it around. That's power. And we all have it. We just need it to come out. We have some amazing power. Each one of us individually have that power. And collectively,
it's a powerhouse.
It is a powerhouse. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. said, none of us individually are greater than all of us collectively. And sometimes we have to go back to what worked when they were battling some major battles. And we're battling major battles right now. We really are. Oftentimes people think, oh, we're arrived. Arrived where? What is our legacy going to be? Yeah. What are we going to leave our babies? Yeah. So that's what power is to me.
And you're right. It's time for us to come back together again. And I'm going to stress it again. If you're listening to this, it's not just about getting the ticket. Spread the word. You heard that. We're more powerful together. Next, what does ownership look like in your world right now? Ownership is another big thing with power, and ownership can mean very many different things to many different people. So what does it mean in your world right now?
Ownership to me looks like telling the full truth about your life, owning your story, not just the pretty polished one, you know, everything is wonderful. You know, Maya Angelou used to tell us stories all of the time. You know, I've been married and I've been divorced. I've led under pressure. I've been spit on. I've even faced, like I said before, moments where I was standing for what I believe, and that brought consequences to me. So ownership means to me standing in your values anyway, and trusting that truth comes full circle. So you keep doing whatever you're doing. You own your own story. And that's what this summit is about. Owning the story. That's what you have given us this platform for. It's for us to own our story. And so own your story. But take advantage of if there's negative publicity, etc., because then that gives you even an opportunity to have a story.
Yeah.
But you just got to own it.
Yeah.
So that's what ownership looks like for me.
I absolutely love that. Just so you know, I've asked this question 20 times over so far, and nobody's answered it like that.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing, because for a split second, I don't know if everybody saw, I forgot I was on a podcast. Like, you brought me back to just myself and my own story. Does that make any sense? And just understanding that it's the one thing that I own that you can't take away from me. And it's the one thing that's going to shape me. And it's the one thing that's going to get me to where I'm going. You even put me in a trance of thinking, actually, if I was to be honest with you, I mean, I know the power of our own story, but I've never... I'm going to be honest, ladies, anybody else put it in the comments. I've never really related that back to ownership, because I own that. No one can't take that from me. It's the one thing they can't take from me is my story, my identity. And yeah, you're right. This is a place where everybody's got the opportunity to be able to have their story and own it. So I absolutely love that. Thank you.
Many Black women, if I can add this little bit here, when I think about it, many of us have learned to shrink.
Yes.
We've learned not to take up space. We've learned to be soft, and even to soften what we know so that others around us will feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not about making everybody else feel comfortable. Trust our lives, trust our experiences, trust our leadership intelligence, and share it. Don't minimize ourselves. We don't have to minimize. We're too great to minimize.
Love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I feel like I'm being coached here right now. I don't know about everybody else. What is the one narrative about Black women you are committed to changing through your work?
Through my narrative, I want to make sure that we are strengthened. Make sure that we don't think that we have to do everything alone by ourselves.
Yeah.
I want women to know that what strength looks like. Also, to take the time to rest, to have boundaries, to ask for support, and most importantly, choose peace. And again, have good sisters around you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning that as I get older. That kitchen table Michelle Obama speaks about, it's really, really key. We all need a kitchen table, and we all need different people, characters, and energy to be able to lift us up. And I would say my life has taken a big turn with that. Good piece of advice. Thank you again. Next, I know this is going to be a good one. I think you're going to be able to spin a different light on this one again. I do, especially with your extensive experience, career. You've done so much. What do you think Black women deserve more of in rooms that make decisions?
We deserve the freedom to lead fully as ourselves, to be who we are. If we have braids, whatever the case is, we deserve the freedom to lead fully as ourselves. Black women bring lived understanding. There's a whole lot of our counterparts do not. We know what decisions mean for real people and what decisions mean for our communities. That perspective is not extra. It's essential. And that's what Black women bring to the table of decision making. Any table in any room, whether it's the hospitals, whether it's the schools, whether it's our businesses. We know the things that are needed. So we deserve the freedom to lead fully as ourselves.
Love it. And what boundary or standard or non-negotiable, just to lead on from that, changed everything for you?
I believe that learning that visibility does not always mean availability. Just because I can carry a whole bunch of stuff doesn't mean it belongs to me. Give it back to where it belongs. So that's my boundary. I've
Give it back
decided
to where it
to.
belongs.
Exactly.
Yes, hand it back. I'm definitely taking that one. And my last question, and then we're going to do a quick fire round. Sorry. If a Black woman is building her own business right now, what would be the thing that you would tell her to focus on?
I would say pause, breathe, and ask if what you are building aligns with your life or what you actually want. We know how to work hard as Black women. The deeper question is whether we're building something sustainable for our spirit. Because we can work and work and work and work, and our spirit cannot be present. So for the brilliant Black woman that's out there, pause and ask yourself if what you're building aligns with the life that you actually want. And then move forward.
And it's funny that you said that, because I've got a big canvas in my back room where we have in the dining room, and it says pause. Pause when you're angry, pause when you're emotional, pause when you're anxious. Seriously, and it's there for me as a reminder. I've got this thing called CYT, catch yourself thinking. And it's something that I've learned, and as I've mastered, if I'm not sure about something, if something's not sitting right with me, I don't make rash decisions. I always pause. And it's a powerful thing. It just makes me more comfortable in my own skin. I'm more intentional. That has to be one of the best pieces of advice, honestly, ladies, that you're listening to with the whole pausing thing. I can say that me learning to do that is how I've grown into my own. I've come more comfortable in my skin. I'm more assertive. I move with more intention with the decisions that I make, just from that piece of advice that you were just given. Pause. So I'm testimony to that. Pausing does work. And I'm like a bull in a china shop. That's what they used to call me as a child growing up. I've got that characteristic about me. I'm always raring to go. And that's how I've controlled it and mastered it and made it one of my best assets, is by pausing. So that's why I smiled when you said it, and it was like, okay, wow. Dr. Cheryl Pruitt, that was an absolute pleasure having you here today. Like I said, you're like the oracle. There's something about your energy that is very calming. It makes you think, and you're just like this force of wisdom that just keeps giving. And if this is something you want to see more of, ladies, get your ticket. Please share, because this is mission-led. You know, share and make sure that other Black female entrepreneurs, other Black female professionals that want to be more, do more, and be better, turn up and come to the summit. Dr. Cheryl Pruitt is going to be delivering a very powerful keynote presentation. I'm not actually going to give you any hints and signs of what it is, but if you want that wisdom, you want more of that guidance, make sure you show up and make sure you turn up. So time for our quick fire round. So I'm going to start a sentence, and then I'm going to ask you to finish it for me. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
I know you've got this. My power increases when I stopped trying to control how others saw me and focused on living truthfully. Love it. One belief Black women must release to rise faster is
that we have to carry everything alone. We need to release that. We don't have to carry everything alone.
And one thing you want Black women to remember about their voice is
that their voice carries wisdom. Someone else is waiting to hear it. They have a lot of wisdom in that voice. And we have a lot, every last one of us have a story. And we have wisdom. So carry your voice.
Woo! Dr. Cheryl Pruitt, thank you. Thank you for such a powerful podcast. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for being so open, so vulnerable. Thank you for giving advice. That was an absolute pleasure. I don't want to keep banging on, but ladies, seriously, get your ticket, share the link. Dr. Cheryl Pruitt gave you her tags already. Make sure you look her up on LinkedIn. From LinkedIn, you'll find her on her website, but you're going to find her with me and 4 other amazing Black female entrepreneurs that's going to be sitting on that panel every single day with you in Irie Jam FM's podcast studio, where we're going to be bringing the house down and we're going to bring you an energy that you've never seen before. And I simply cannot wait. So, ladies, thank you for staying with us for this time, and we look forward to seeing you at the summit, 23rd to the 27th of March. Take care. Goodbye.